Hello, everyone, and welcome to Christmas Countdown Crafts. Today's the first of our handmade Christmas gifts. We're just a little over a week away from Thanksgiving, and we are really ramping it up for our Christmas crafts because I know Thanksgiving is late, and after Thanksgiving, everyone goes crazy with getting all their gifts and getting all their shopping done. So join us for the rest of this week and the rest of the videos in the Countdown to Christmas Marathon. Today is the first of the Christmas gifts video, and I am starting with a picture frame gift that I'm giving to someone who just became a grandma. And I am using this Doris picture frame. It's a 5x7 picture frame. It comes unfinished. I probably have about 3 or 4 of them left in stock, but you can get these unfinished picture frames at any craft store. Joann's has them, Hobby Lobby has them. So it's a perfect gift because you can customize it to whoever you want to give it to. So I am doing this one in a special Christmas, but actually winter and combination of just baby and really soft. So you see, I am not showing you how I got to that point because I am going to be covering up that crackle. It did not come out how I wanted it to, and I'm going to be covering it right up. But in between this step and the last step, I did crackle the picture frame. Now I am putting some glitter paste on, and I am using Roy Cycle's Winter Stencil, which has some really beautiful snowflakes on that. And I am using the glitter paste to do a kind of like an iridescent snowflake that you can hardly see, but it is going to add a whole ton of texture in the end. My next step was to prepare the castings, and I am using amazing resin to make these castings. I'm using the Santa's sleigh mold, and I literally filled every one of the presents that came on that mold with the amazing casting resin, and I'm using them on my picture frame. And what I am doing, I am giving you guys a front row seat of watching this resin set up. And as you can see, it starts in the middle. It starts with the deepest part, and then it sets up going outward. And once it's all set, it's time to snap it out. And I carefully snap out all 4 sides just by moving it around. And sometimes you have a little tiny spot that's still soft, and just carefully take it out. But all of this was pretty easy to get out. Be careful of your molds. They're made out of silicone, but they're also can be something you want to take really good care of. So then I went ahead and glued all these little presents to the bottom of my frame. After that, I went over with a coat of just white paint. I painted the whole thing with 1 coat of chalk paint, and then went ahead and painted it with a 2nd coat of chalk paint. I am looking for texture here. I am going to be putting some antiquing paste, and I want there to be lots of texture showing through. So I'm not trying to get a super smooth coat. I just want to cover everything with the same white paint. And then once that thoroughly dried, I came through with silver antiquing paste, and I tried to just hit the high spots of the snowflakes, the bows on the presents, the corners of the presents, the edges of the picture frame to pull it in a little bit. And anywhere where I put on a little too much, I just wiped it away afterwards. I always use my finger to do this because I really want to have as much control as possible. It's the antiquing paste is super soft, so you only need a tiny little bit. It goes a long way. So by using my finger, I'm able to control it a little bit and also to get it in the places where it'd be harder. I would have gotten too much with a paintbrush. One of the things I do when I make picture frames is I think about the photo that's going to go inside that frame so that I know that one is not going to take away from the other. And I really felt as I was working on this particular picture frame that I wanted the frame to be beautiful but subtle so that it worked perfectly with the picture. Project number two is going to be a Christmas box. And actually, my husband made this box really with just scrap wood. We're renovating an apartment and we end up with lots of little pieces of scrap wood. And I love this little paintbrush. This is one of the paintbrushes that I did a review on. It has that point and it was perfect to get. I wondered what I would use it for, and it was perfect to get in those corners quickly and efficiently. So I am giving the inside of this box a 2 coats of chalk paint, and then I am going to put a sealer on it. And the first thing I do after that is I start making my castings for this box. And again, I'm using the amazing casting resin. You pour it into a container, equal parts A and B, and you continue to stir until it gets clear. And I think some people stir until it's white, but you want to keep stirring till it gets clear, and then you can pour it into the molds. And I did get a little bit messy at first, and then I was able to figure out how to get those tiny little ones by using a container where I was really able to squeeze it a little more. I used every single one of the castings from this Santa sleigh mold. Literally, I used two of the reindeer, one on each end. And what I'm doing now is I'm moving it to get it. My table isn't even, and I'm moving it to make sure that I get it in all the parts of the mold so that my castings come out even, and I want it to be level. I did check out other craft stores for wooden boxes that would work perfect for a card box or a Christmas box, which is what I'm calling this. And Hobby Lobby has them, and um, Michael's has them, and you can get a nice little box for probably around $6 or $7. So I used, along with the Santa sleigh mold, I used the other two molds that I used are the Victoria mold, which is that large C, and then I used the Harper mold, which is all of the small letters. And for this box, I did not paint it ahead of time. I used a glue gun to glue all my castings down. And one of the reasons was I had a lot of castings and I really wanted to move this project along. And the glue gun sets up faster than anything else does. I did use my heavy body gel for the letters just because they're so tiny, and I would have burnt my fingers a lot if I was trying to use a glue gun for something that small. I did measure it ahead of time so that I knew I was centering it, but I think when I went down and put the letters down, I put them a little closer together than I had measured, so it wasn't quite or exactly centered, but no worries. The next thing I do is I go in and I remove any of that extra little bit of body gel. Even though it dries clear, I want my letters. And you see why I use the glue gun is because it takes a while for anything else to set, and you saw that S move around. So I am cleaning up around the letters, and then I'm going to finish the other end of the box where I am putting this nice big deer. He's so majestic. Next step is paint everything with one coat of just white paint, a white chalk paint. So everything got one coat of white chalk paint so that it was all the same. My vision for this box is rustic, distressed, but also kind of traditional and pretty really soft Christmas, almost like a Nordic-y Christmas without a lot of color. So I did everything in white, and then I only added a very little bit of color. But the next step, I also wanted it rustic, so I needed some texture. So I am using salt wash, and salt wash is just an additive that you add to your paint, and it helps get some texture and some crusty looks, and actually can help make it look very old and vintage because you can keep layering it and layer more colors. But I'm only going for the texture here. I'm not going to layer a whole lot of colors, but you simply mix it up and then stipple it on. And I am stippling it all over the whole project, and I'm not avoiding the castings. I'm going right over the castings, but I'm not doing it in big blobs. I'm doing it kind of a fine salt wash all over the whole box. Salt wash also dries super hard, and I wanted this project to last for a lot of years. So the salt wash is also adding to the strength of the castings and the strength of the box. So if it gets nicked around a lot, it's not going to fall apart or break at all. And I was shocked at how easily I could stipple the letters, and I thought that they might get lost a little bit, but they didn't at all, especially after I add the wax at the end. But it was really a fun little way to just make this a little unique and a little more of our style, which is a little more vintagey. I'm not sure vintagey is a word, but a little more rustic. It dries pretty quickly, and here it is, pretty crusty. And I am just again taking my finger, I'm actually putting a glove on, and I'm dipping it into the, I believe this is brass antiquing paste, and then I am just rubbing it along the tops of the letters so that they'll stand out. And I also go around the little presents. You can see there's a lot of texture there. And I'm going to do the bows. I'm going to do around the edges just to really make them stand out and really add that little bit of kind of just a little bit of glitz. Even though this isn't super shiny, it's brassy. It just makes it a little more holiday spirit. I also hit all the edges to just give it a little bit more of a distressed look. We love our Christmas cards and we like to display them. I used to hang them all over the house when we used to get tons and tons of them, but my husband would come home from work and he wouldn't get to see them. So then I started putting them in boxes on the coffee table. So when he sat down, he could open them up and read them all. So that's where the idea of this box came from, in that it would be a place to put Christmas cards and other Christmas letters, things that you want to look at and read again throughout the Christmas season. I am not sure exactly when I made the ho 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 letter castings, but they are made out of um, air dry clay and then just glued on. So I don't have a video of that, but I needed something to finish off that Santa's sleigh. You'll notice I put a snowflake in the back, and then I did the ho ho ho. And here I am finishing one of the reindeer. And once the reindeer are done, the whole thing is all done. And that is our first video of Christmas gifts. All of the products, and I know I used a lot of products, are linked in the description. Some of them actually come up during the video, as you can see. And hopefully you will find anything that you want, or anything if you'd like to make any of these projects. Thanks for watching to the end, and stay tuned for more Christmas DIY make your own gifts.